This is News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. We begin with breaking news from within the last hour.
The Madison Fire Department says 3 downtown fires set within an hour of each other yesterday are connected. Earlier today, we heard from Madison police that they were in contact with a person of interest for a dumpster fire near West Johnson and State Street. The day before, Madison Fire said they were investigating whether it was related to 2 other fires downtown. That includes one on West Washington that displaced 6 students and left $500,000 in damages. The person of interest is in police custody and the fires are still under investigation.
News 3 Now will continue to follow up on this investigation and bring you the updates as soon as we know more. You can follow along with the free Channel 3000 mobile app. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is out on the patio. What's going on, Alex?
It's warm. It feels like summer. It still is summer, but it feels more like that July and August type temperatures. The temperatures out here in the low to mid to upper 80s across southern Wisconsin. Low humidity though, and we still have that milky white bit of that filtered sunshine. That's that smoke that we see across southern Wisconsin. It's way up high in the atmosphere. Greatest concentration, the most of it is to the north and west of Madison right now, up towards Juneau and Adams counties. But we'll continue to see that smoke continue to stream in from the north and from the west. And what this does, and get your phone out if you want to send us your weather photos, just like Bill did here. Want to explain, scan that QR code, links the photos up to our channel3000.com/weather page. And what we're showing here is that vivid, bright sunrises and sunsets. On my way home last night, it was such a beautiful, very orange sunset, and that's because of the smoke that's in the atmosphere. We've got 86 in Madison right now with our Upland Hills sky cam looking downtown here at the Capitol. That dew point's low, that humidity is very low at 32%. Very dry out there, so it's a dry warmth. As our temperatures cool down into the 60s tonight, we'll have overnight low temperatures right around 60 to 61 across much of southern Wisconsin. And the warm temperatures are going to stick around for the foreseeable future. There's that 61. But we've got the remnants of Francine we still need to talk about. We've been discussing Francine for days. Is Francine still on the way to southern Wisconsin? I have the answer in a few minutes.
Alex, thank you. A contractor in Sun Prairie is the subject of accusations from the federal agency in charge of inspecting workplaces.
OSHA says GL Construction of Madison LLC is repeatedly putting workers in danger and not paying federal penalties.
In 2021, after inspectors found the company was exposing its employees at a Fitchburg work site to fall hazards, the contractor was issued citations for 2 serious violations.
In April of 2022, an employee at a DeForest site died after a wall blown over by a gust of wind struck him. After that, the company agreed to bring its workplace safety program in compliance with federal regulations.
Then in October 2023, another inspection found employees at a site in Sun Prairie were also exposed to fall hazards.
In February of this year, GL Construction received 8 violations and tens of thousands of dollars in proposed penalties for infractions at a Verona site.
OSHA says the company has not paid any of the federal penalties related to the citations, provided information about any fixes, or complied with settlement terms.
GL Construction has contested the latest round of penalties and the thousands of dollars it owes from the 2023 inspection.
In a statement on the matter, the director of OSHA said, in part, this company must bring its workplace safety program in compliance with federal regulations immediately, as it agreed to do so after an employee passed away in April 2022. Employers have no excuse for ignoring their legal and moral responsibilities and putting profit before people.
We're continuing our 3 for the People coverage. This week, we're focusing on the economy and specifically inflation.
Today, we're taking a look at what Wisconsin's U.S. Senate candidates have to say about the issue. Republican candidate Eric Hovde's press secretary recently shared an op-ed he wrote on inflation for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. In it, Hovde blamed inflation on what he calls failed economic policies of the Biden-Harris administration. He says the Federal Reserve is doing their part with interest rates. The first thing Hovde says needs to happen, bringing federal spending back to 2019 levels and halting excessive deficit spending. Hovde says his real-world experience and understanding of the global and financialized economy make him the best candidate to bring down prices for Wisconsinites.
Meanwhile, Democratic incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin has her own op-ed in the Journal Sentinel about inflation. She says, unlike Hovde, she's fighting back. Baldwin touts the passing of the Inflation Reduction Act, which helped lower the cost of healthcare, prescription drugs, and energy for families. Baldwin says she's currently helping lead the Price Gouging Prevention Act, which seeks to ban the practice. Baldwin says she's also working to address the housing crisis through the Stop Predatory Investing Act. The act would eliminate the tax break incentives that big corporate investors get when they buy up Wisconsin properties. Earlier this year, Baldwin introduced the Affordable Housing and Home Ownership Protection Act that would provide funds for building and preserving 3 million affordable housing units nationwide. Lastly, the senator says that she is fighting to pass the Child Care Stabilization Act and Child Care for Working Families Act. Together, Baldwin says it will cut costs for families and support the child care workforce. Smoking is the leading cause of preventable death in the United States. To try to quit, many people switch to e-cigarettes, but bright colors and sweet flavors have also grabbed a new consumer, middle and high school students.
Our Ellie La Liberté joins us now with what the new numbers tell us about underage use of these addictive products.
Now, this new data released from the CDC earlier this month shows e-cigarette use has decreased among minors by almost 2% in the last year. And although that number doesn't sound like much, it actually means that youth e-cigarette use is the lowest it's been in a decade. This year, the CDC estimates that roughly 6% of middle and high school students use e-cigarettes. The device most commonly used are disposable vapes. One UW-Madison researcher says one reason rates are changing has to do with the education.
As educational campaigns have happened and you've seen the different campaigns talking about the heavy metals and the other toxins, you've seen campaigns with adolescents talking about how addictive it is and how people start fiending and all of the other negative consequences that come from e-cigarette use that kids just didn't know about.
Although there is a decline in e-cigarette use among teens, nicotine pouches are becoming slightly more popular. Now, you can learn about that tonight at 5. Now, there are tools to help you quit as well. For those between the ages of 13 and 26, you can text VAPE-FREE to 873373.
Ellie, thank you. The Dane County Sheriff's Office has some new resources as part of a Reach a Child program. Reach a Child has partnerships with hundreds of agencies around the state. Their goal is to provide children on the scene of a crime, crash, or domestic incident with a distraction. To do that, Reach a Child gives sheriffs, police, EMTs, and fire departments reach bags, the contents of which they use to help the child on the scene.
So these backpacks have lots of brand new children's books, and the first responder can use those then to spend time with the child, to comfort the child, and maybe most importantly, distract the child from whatever the bad situation might be.
Each bag has 20 kids' books and several drawstring backpacks that can go to kids in need. If you want to help the Reach a Child cause, you can donate on reachachild.org.
To continuing coverage, today is the last day people who donated bricks for UW's Brick Walk of Fame can pick them up. UW Athletics is getting rid of the Walk of Bricks, which are often dedicated to Badgers who have died, to make room for a new practice facility near Camp Randall. After receiving backlash, UW Athletics said if you don't pick up your brick, they'll relocate and display them at a still-to-be-determined area around Camp Randall.
Dry eyes are no laughing matter, but maybe laughing might help.
Coming up, Dr. Zorba Pastor shows us some new research about how to exercise your eyes.
Join Stoughton Health's Dr. Aaron Schwab on September 26th to learn about simple outpatient treatments that can alleviate varicose or spider veins. To register for the free educational talk, visit stoughtonhealth.com and click on Classes and Events.
Service and savings. It's Woodman's.
Hi, we're the Woodmans. I'm Clint.
I'm Phil, saving you a bunch of money on tacos.
10 count Mission Soft Tacos, 2 for $4.
Seasoning, 2 for $1.
16-ounce La Preferita refried beans, just $1.
Hot prices on tacos.
Soft tacos, 2 for $4. Seasoning, 2 for $1. Refried beans, $1.
Hey, phenomenal prices on tacos.
Better products, better prices, better service, because we're employee owned.
It's Woodman's.
Most people call leaf filter when their gutters are clogged and they notice one of the many issues that can bring. Well, sometimes it's the smell of mildew when water has seeped into the interior walls, or maybe they've spotted mold in the attic. But most often, it's the more obvious signs of damage, like rotten soffit, fascia, or water pooling near their foundation. You can get ahead of costly damage by protecting your home's gutters today. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help.
Schedule your free gutter inspection today. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or visit leaffilter.com.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a Major League sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
The kindness, the efficiency, the respect was amazing.
From start to finish, they will take care of you.
Everybody is just so kind and everybody's so cheerful. I just never worked with a company where everybody seems to get along and they're all happy to be working for Cardinal.
Cardinal is the place to go for any type of work that you need done around your home.
I never hesitate with family, friends, neighbors to recommend Cardinal, and nobody has come back to me and said I was wrong.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
No more waiting to see a general surgeon. Stoughton Health can see you within a week. We accept over 160 insurances, including Dean Health Plan and Quartz. Ask for Dr. Aaron Schwab, board-certified general surgeon. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
Welcome back. Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz will be in the Badger State tomorrow. The Minnesota governor will hold a campaign event in Wausau after flying into Mosinee. The Harris campaign says Walz will meet with volunteers before campaigning at UW Superior on Saturday. Walz was just recently in Wisconsin, making a stop in Milwaukee on Labor Day. Tomorrow, Braden Ross will be live in Mosinee for Walz's visit, and you can watch her coverage right here on News 3 Now.
Former President Donald Trump says he won't debate Vice President Kamala Harris again. In a long post on his Truth Social account, Trump said there will be no third debate. Trump suggested Harris's proposal for a rematch was because she lost the debate. But initial polls from major outlets like CNN and YouGov show significantly more voters say Harris outperformed him.
There will be more security on Capitol Hill this coming January 6th. For the first election certification since the attack on the U.S. Capitol, Congress will have the full weight of the federal government behind its security. There will be more officers on the ground, broader security perimeters, and technology to detect potential materials used in weapons of mass destruction. The process is now designated a national special security event. The U.S. Secret Service says the mayor of Washington, D.C. made the request, but multiple congressional reports had recommended that too.
It's day 6 of the Kentucky State Police's search for a shooter who opened fire on the interstate in Kentucky, injuring multiple people. Kentucky State Police and other agencies are continuing their search for Joseph Couch. They say he opened fire on the I-75 in Laurel County on Saturday. 5 people were injured at the time, and most of the victims have since been released from the hospital. Some schools nearby remain closed, and other events are canceled due to the manhunt.
A Manhattan grand jury has indicted Harvey Weinstein on additional sex crimes. This comes ahead of a retrial in his landmark Me Too case. Manhattan prosecutors say the indictment will stay sealed until Weinstein can appear for his arraignment, which could happen as early as September 18th. Weinstein was not at today's hearing because he is recovering from emergency heart surgery. Assistant District Attorney Nicole Bloomberg says multiple accusers are prepared to testify against him.
3 major wildfires in California have destroyed dozens of homes, and thousands of people have evacuated. Firefighters are battling triple-digit temperature fires, all in the mountains east of Los Angeles. California is in the beginning of its wildfire season, but the state has already seen nearly 3 times as much acreage burn than during all of 2023. No deaths have been reported, but 3 fires from the three fires, but at least a dozen people, mostly firefighters, have been treated for injuries. The governor has sent in troops from the National Guard to help with evacuations, and the White House says that President Biden is monitoring the situation.
Well, images and video from people in Louisiana show life-threatening flooding and destructive winds. Thousands of people are without power and millions are under flood alerts. Francine made landfall in Louisiana as a hurricane yesterday and is spreading dangerous conditions all across the region. It's now a tropical depression and is still expected to cause flooding. So Alex, how long will this storm affect people, and are we still waiting to see if it will affect us this weekend?
Brady, great questions. It is on the way to the north here. This is where Francine is right now for the northern portion of Mississippi near the Memphis area. And this is bringing some heavy rainfall to the mid-Mississippi Valley. Will it make it this far north? It will. It is on its way towards the north, towards southern Wisconsin, but it will be significantly weakening as we move forward towards the weekend. We'll track how much water we can expect out of Francine in just a couple moments. Temperatures are another big part of our weather story. We got a little cooler last night, down into the 50s. When you have dry air, temperatures have a tendency to warm up and cool down a little bit faster than when the air has more moisture in it. Got all the way up to 86 degrees, and that's the high temperature we were forecasting for. For this evening, let's plan that out. Temperatures right around 80 at 6 o'clock. I'm going to get a walk in here following our 6 o'clock newscast. We have Buddy coming in for one of our newscasts this evening. We'll also have Jacob at 10 o'clock. Just had some updates there to the temperatures. A beautiful evening is expected across southern Wisconsin. There's at 86 right now in Madison, 88 in Janesville. We'll tie that 88, so near 90 degrees over portions of northern Grant County. Again, showing the Wisconsin River Valley, you cool down at night and you warm up a little bit more than others during the day. Temperatures tonight we'll do 61. How about that in Madison? 59 in Lone Rock, 60 to the north in Baraboo, 56. A little bit cooler up towards Camp Douglas. So a mild night overall. We just had this update come in here. This is the drought monitor. What we're seeing is the expansion of abnormally dry conditions, which was hugging the Wisconsin-Illinois border a week ago, has now expanded to the north to cover much of southern Wisconsin. How much rain can we expect out of Francine? Not a whole lot. This is going from Saturday into Sunday into Monday. We're right now eyeing up southwestern Wisconsin, where perhaps a quarter of an inch, maybe an isolated half inch or 3/4 of an inch. This might be overly optimistic. This is just one weather model projection here. I think a 1/10 to maybe a quarter of an inch across southern Wisconsin would be a good bet, and that may be on the higher end as well. We've got events going on this weekend. We got the Badger game against Alabama, kickoff at 11 a.m. Temperatures climbing to right around 80. At the end of the game, we'll be into the lower 80s. So go Badgers, that tiny chance of some rain. And we have the Gemütlichkeit days. Tried a little bit of my German there. It's probably off. We'll just go G-Days parade at noon. I'll be emceeing in Jefferson, so come and join us in Jefferson County. Going for cloudy skies and just that slight chance right now of a shower. Beyond that rain chance, when's the next one? Look behind me here. Yesterday I was thinking, Friday might be the earliest we start to see some shower and thunderstorms as a cold front moves towards the area. But that cold front looks like it's going to lag a little bit. That keeps the warm temperatures around a little bit more Saturday into Sunday of next weekend. With the rain chance, I'm pushing that further out now towards Sunday. A little bit of viewer photos time. This one sent to us from Hazel Green. Thanks, Carly. You see that cumulus cloud building up there. If you want to send us your weather photos, we were showing some of the stunning sunrise sunset photos in first weather. Just scan that QR code, get your phone out right now and scan it, and upload your weather photos to channel3000.com/weather, and then that gives me the opportunity to show your weather photo live on air, just like we're doing right now. How about that?
I never get sick of seeing those beautiful photos.
Oh, me either. I love those. Thank you so much, Alex. Laughter may really be the best medicine, at least for people with dry eye symptoms.
Do you feel more sheer in your eyes now?
Yes,
with that little
yes,
okay,
I
good. Well, a clinical trial published in the BMJ looked at people with existing eye conditions and found participants in a group who performed laughter exercises experienced just about the same level of eye relief as control group receiving eye drops.
Right,
That's
exactly.
really interesting.
And I've said laughter is the best medicine because we know it alleviates stress, we know it alleviates certain stress hormones that can cause heart disease and stroke. We know it's good. But here it is. We also know that it may actually work for you. So let me show you what they actually did. So first of all, this is what people had to do. They had to do this 30 times in a 5-minute period looking at an app. And this is what, I mean, I'll just read what they did. They had to go, hee, 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 ha, 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 ha. Cheese, 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 cheese. Cheek, 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 ha, 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 ha. And then they had to keep on reading. So if you look at your face and what you're doing,
this is real.
Yes, this is.
Of course it's real. This is real television. There's nothing recorded here. But the theory is that when you're moving your eyes, you're moving your muscles, you're squeezing some of those tear glands and opening up the ducts. And dry eyes are a common problem. As you get older, they're common. But when we look at our phones, you know, we look and we stare and we don't blink very much at all. And eye drops over the counter are fine, but this might be a nicer way to actually do things.
Even just that moment when we were laughing, I could feel like some tears.
Yeah, it's like that thing where you don't know if you're like something's happening until you're aware of it. And so now I'm like
you were
more
aware of
cognizant of it.
You could have been on the study.
I know.
That's exactly.
No, I did this in college.
So they had an app. They looked at an app on a phone, you know, which gave facial expressions, and then they had to do it 5 minutes 4 times a day, and then they compared it to the control group that had eye drops. And then they have a way of measuring dry eyes with litmus paper, this sort of paper that goes onto the eye to see how many tears are done, are produced. But I think it also shows us when you take your break from the computer, when you're looking at the screen, what you should do is turn and start laughing. Now, you may need to have something funny to look at. That's a different story. I can't tell you what that is, but you have to have something funny.
It's, well, and like people who experience dry eyes, it's painful. They can be itchy.
They're itchy, it's painful. You don't really like the way it is. And eye drops, to put them in correctly, you've got to do them 3 or 4 times a day. You've got to put a washcloth or something moist on top of it, and I'd rather laugh, frankly. You know, and that's it. So maybe you start playing funny things on the radio, because you can't stare at a YouTube while you're doing this because you're laughing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Or you can just make the hee-hee-ha-ha noises until you actually laugh, because that got me giggling.
And your eyes, that's right. And people will say, you're in the library, what are you doing? I'm trying to get my eyes from, you know, nice and moist, so that's why I'm laughing. So.
Well, laughter is good for other things, too. Yeah.
Stress, it's good for stress. We know it's good for depression. We know it's always good. And why do we want to see clowns and laugh? It makes us feel good. It's wonderful, especially during these stressful times. I don't know about you, but politics tends to be stressful. We need more laughter.
Of course.
Truth be told, I've been a little stressed out today, so just this conversation made me laugh. I'm feeling a little better.
That's it. Excellent. And your eyes are better, too.
Yeah, look at that.
They look beautiful.
Right. Oh, gosh. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Great to be here.
And we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Introducing the new Sushi Lover Madison. All-you-can-eat sushi and hibachi at an amazing price. Now open at Westtown Mall for lunch or dinner. Be sure to try Sushi Lover Madison.
4 years ago, in this alley, rioters threw a brick at my face and knocked out my teeth. Why? Because I was a police officer. And what did Kamala Harris do? While America's cities were burning, Kamala was defending peaceful protest. She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding our police, making us all less safe. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Did you get hit with big energy bills this summer? You aren't alone, and we want to help. Because if your house was hot this summer, it's going to be cold this winter, and heating and cooling is by far the biggest energy user in your home. That's why our foam insulation is such a great investment. Our best offer of the year just ended August 31st. But to help you get ready for winter, we're going to extend it until September 22nd, the first day of fall. When we foam your walls, we'll insulate your attic for free.
USA Insulation.
Baraboo Furniture and Mattress is celebrating Labor Day with our huge store-wide Labor Day sale. Our beautiful new showroom is packed with over an acre of quality furniture, including over 50 recliners on sale, mattress sets on sale, over $1 million of quality name brands including Smith Brothers, FlexSteel, Best, England, Spring Air, Ashley, Amish Furniture, and much more at discounted prices. Free financing, all credit welcome. Hurry in today for the best selection at the huge store-wide Labor Day sale at Baraboo Furniture and Mattress, Baraboo.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need. Because they're a part of them. Because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us.
Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during the
inflation,
Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Introducing the new Sushi Lover Madison. All you can eat sushi and hibachi at an amazing price. Now open at Westtown Mall for lunch or dinner. Be sure to try Sushi Lover Madison.
Welcome back. New information shows jobless claims rose slightly last week, but the overall number remains historically low. The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits last week rose by 2,000. That brings the total number of jobless claims for the week of September 7th to 230,000. But the number of continuing claims fell during the first week of September. There were more than 43,000 fewer continuing claims compared to the week before. The Department of Labor says the data shows layoffs aren't ramping up even as the labor market cools.
Right now, 30,000 union workers for Boeing are voting on whether to accept a tentative deal. On Sunday, the machinists union and the company reached a tentative agreement on a 4-year contract to avoid a walkout. However, union members are not happy with the terms because Boeing did not agree to pay a 40% pay increase and refuses to restore an eliminated pension plan. Union members have launched a series of protests this week. If they reject the deal, they could go to vote to go on strike early tomorrow.
A new study shows parents who spend a lot of time on their phones could be hindering their kids' language development. Researchers with the academic journal Frontiers in Psychology surveyed more than 400 parents with kids aged 2.5 to 4 years old. They found parents who use screens more had children who use screens more, and those kids had lower aptitude in grammar and vocabulary. Experts say verbal interactions are important, and you should try not to spend too much time on devices when you're with your child. Still ahead, people in rural communities enjoy the large open spaces, but many are seeing smaller windows of opportunity for education.
We're looking at how closures of UW branch campuses are affecting rural students and what needs to happen to fix the issue.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, we want you to go ahead and smile. Right now, new denture wearers get a free upgrade to our premium denture for the price of an economy. Call today. Offer ends October 7th.
Go ahead and smile.
Nobody wants to replace the roof. But these days, many roofs are only lasting 10 to 15 years, costing you tens of thousands of dollars. RoofMax makes your roof like new by strengthening and rejuvenating it. RoofMax treatments, started early enough, can extend the life of your roof by 15 years or more. And even if you think your roof is at the end of its life, 90% of the time, RoofMax can extend the life of your roof by 5 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. So give us a call and we'll give you a free assessment to see if your roof qualifies.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salonpas. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
What does an opportunity economy look like? Tax cuts for working families. Billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share. It increases stability and security, gives people a true opportunity to get ahead. It's a very different vision than Donald Trump's. His plans will raise costs and taxes on the vast majority of Americans. We need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year, so visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
We're cranking up the voltage, Wisconsin. Lottery retailers all around the state are lighting up with the latest limited time offer. It's Badger 5, 5 will get you 6. During the month of September, players who buy a $5 or greater Badger 5 ticket will receive a bonus ticket for the next drawing of Badger 5. This electric offer is only available for a limited time and only at Wisconsin lottery retailers.
Right now at Affordable Dentures and Implants, new denture wearers get a free upgrade to our premium denture. That's an average savings of $700. Call 1-800-DENTURE today. Offer ends October 7th.
Go ahead and smile.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, you are taking a look at the most updated version of the state's drought monitor. We see yellow up in the northern part of the state and yellow in the southern part of the state on that monitor.
Alex, what does this mean for us?
Great question. That dryness that we saw last week we were showing was down across the Wisconsin-Illinois border. And we had a hunch with this extended period of dry weather that abnormally dry conditions will continue to press off towards the north. I have a lot of connections with the farming community. At least the good news from some of the farmers that I've had a conversation with, at least for southern Wisconsin, is that this dryness at least didn't happen until very, very late in the growing season. So the actual crops and the yields out there right now, from my understanding, may have a little bit of an impact, but not significant from some of the farmers that I've talked to, which is certainly good news. We had, up to that point, plenty of moisture in southern Wisconsin through a good portion of the growing season. The rain chances, I don't have really good news. Unfortunately, I know those lawns could use some water. It's dry out here on the patio. I had to fill up our bird bath because we're not getting water there either. And there's not looking like there's going to be very high chances of rain, even this weekend with the remnants of Francine. And I've actually pushed our rain chance that I was thinking would eye up maybe Friday of next week. I'm putting that out even further into the 10-day forecast. It's warm out there. We've got 86 degrees here in Madison, Janesville. How about an 88? How about an 88 in Boscobel right now? Those temperatures normal for this time of year, about 75 to 78. So we're 10 to 15 degrees above normal right now across southern Wisconsin. 86, 85s out there. That's what we expected in Dane County. And as we plan the evening tonight, it will stay mild for this time of year. This is a dry warmth. It's not a muggy or humid warmth out there. We'll have temperatures right around 60 to 61 degrees. And coming up in my next main weather, we're going to track some of those best shower chances, if you want to call them best shower chances with Francine. A little bit of hope for a little bit of drops, and we'll track those drops in a few minutes.
Thank you, Alex. Well, school may be in session, but for many seeking their college degrees here in Wisconsin, their classrooms have permanently closed.
That's right. Our Maddie Heimsch takes a look into how the closures of our UW branch campuses are affecting students in rural communities. Over the past 2 years, the Universities of Wisconsin system has announced the closure of 6 of its branch campuses in rural communities. In the fall of 2023, just under 5,000 students took class at a rural satellite campus, while 157,000 attended a 4-year UW university. Mary Papazian is the vice president of the Association for Governing Boards of Universities and Colleges. She says the closures will hit one student demographic especially hard.
For a rural student, there just won't be as many options. Now, they certainly can go, somewhere else. They can leave home and go to a distant institution, but that may be a distance. It may be a financial burden, and it just adds another barrier for them.
And it's not just the students that will feel the closure. Papazian says colleges and universities, whether 2-year or 4-year, private or public, are often the largest employers and biggest economy drivers in their communities. That's why the system is encouraging city and county leaders to find ways to reutilize the campuses moving forward. Reporting in Madison, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now. All right, thank you, Maddie. On News 3 Now at 6, we'll hear why Universities of Wisconsin System President Jay Rothman says these closures are a symptom of a, quote, neglect.
And as students are returning to campus this fall, UW-Madison students will see different protest policies. The new rules implemented by the university will ban certain actions near the entrances of campus buildings.
I'm quite concerned that this provision is written with a sufficient lack of clarity that if I were a student, I wouldn't be sure what I'm allowed to do within 25 feet of an entrance. And if I wanted to be safe from the risk of discipline, I'd probably refrain from engaging in any but the most minimal expression.
Constitutional expert Howard Schwaber says that creates a chilling effect on student speech, which could be challenged in court. You can see more of our conversation with Schwaber this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record. Here's a look at the stocks. The U.S. stock index came back from big early drops yesterday to finish higher.
September is National Suicide Awareness Month.
This week, organizers in Madison are participating in Construction Suicide Awareness Month. Tanisha Shaw shows us.
When you think about the construction industry and suicide, some of it just comes down to the nature of who shows up to the job, so who's coming to work. It's a male-dominated industry, and males typically die by suicide by a much higher rate than females.
This is Cara. She helps organize Construction Workers Suicide Prevention Week. This cause hits close to home.
I lost my brother Gary to suicide back in 2005. We were very close. He was 29 years old. He worked in the construction industry at my family company back in Pennsylvania. And since then, I've lost others to suicide, and it's just something that really drives me.
Now, organizations around the country are partnering with Safe Communities in Dane County to ensure that people in the Madison area can take advantage of the resources.
Sometimes just having that lock on a gun and not having easy access to it can be the time frame that you need to kind of get down from that thought. So Safe Communities will hand out those for free to local construction companies to help them be supportive of their employees.
Construction workers can have inconsistent schedules, sometimes going months without work. I talked to organizers who said that and the stress of the job itself can lead to mental health issues.
Construction is typically one of the top industries for suicide deaths, so this group is really trying to spread awareness and get information out there across the country to help people in the construction industry.
That was Tanisha Shaw reporting. If you or anyone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, help is available. The National Suicide Hotline's number is 988.
If you just can't wait for the weekend and want to liven up your Thursday, we have some suggestions.
In the 608, we're showing you what's returning to downtown Madison tonight. There's a big hint, and some other events you won't want to miss next.
Discover the charm of Oregon, Wisconsin. Enjoy the bike trails, parks, and outdoor activities, the quaint downtown, unique shops, and delicious dining. Visit Oregon, Wisconsin, where memories are made. See you soon.
Tammy Baldwin's partner is Maria Brisbane, a Wall Street wealth advisor to the ultra-rich. They spend their time in New York and D.C. in their multi-million-dollar homes. But Baldwin fails to report their jointly owned assets or Maria's clients, who get rich off industries that Tammy regulates. That's a conflict of interest raising serious ethical questions. Two-faced Tammy Baldwin. She's not for us anymore. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
Gas, groceries, school supplies, everything costs more. Eggs are almost twice as much as they were 4 years ago. Biden, Harris, and the Democrats keep telling us things are better. They aren't better. And Tammy Baldwin is making it worse, raising taxes, running up debt, voting for spending that's driving inflation. 25 years in Washington, and she's done nothing. It's time for a change.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Champion's Big Window Sale is back.
Do you have ugly, hard-to-open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy two, you get two free. Buy two Champion windows, get two free? I guess that means if you buy four, you get four free. Buy six, get six free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy Two, Get Two free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
Discover the charm of Oregon, Wisconsin. Enjoy the bike trails, parks, and outdoor activities, the quaint downtown, unique shops, and delicious dining. Visit Oregon, Wisconsin, where memories are made. See you soon.
New at 5, new data shows a drop in teen e-cigarette use, but another nicotine product is quickly rising in popularity. What it is and what parents need to know.
What's left of tropical depression Francine is on the way to the north. Coming up at 5, I'll let you know how far north it gets and if it still means rain for southern Wisconsin.
And ahead at 6, new protest policies are shaking up UW-Madison just as students return for the fall semester. How the new restrictions will impact free speech on campus. That's tonight at 6.
Well, it's Thursday, which means we're already looking forward to the weekend. Story of my life.
That's
in the
right.
608 on News 3 Now.
Josh Sprider is here in the studio with your weekend planner.
Everybody's working for the weekend this afternoon. I know I am because it's going to be a busy one. Right now, I have 3 things for you to do with your family this weekend. We're going to kick off the festivities a little early tonight. It is time for the Madison Night Market happening in downtown. This month will feature more than 110 local vendors and food trucks lining the state streets and Capitol Square areas. There will also be plenty of music and entertainment showcasing the best of what downtown Madison has to offer. The Madison Night Market runs from 5 to 9 tonight. Also starting today and running all the way through the weekend is Walktoberfest. Organizers say this year's event is gearing up to be another awesome fest for Wanakee, happening once again along Century Avenue. Folks can expect a lot of fun with live bands, polka, German food and beer, along with great kids-friendly activities. Walktoberfest runs through Sunday. And finally, of course, all the hype for Saturday as Alabama comes to town to take on the Badgers. This is going to be a historic weekend for Madtown with an 11 a.m. kickoff. If you're looking to join the tailgating fun, you can check out Badger Bash at Union South. The 50-year tradition begins 2.5 hours before kickoff, so that means an 8:30 start on Saturday morning. There, of course, will be performances by the UW-Madison Marching Band and Spirit Squad. Badger Bash is free and open to the public. Remember, we are your home for what's happening in the 608. You can go to our section of channel3000.com. You can also click on the community calendar in partnership with Madison Magazine. In the 608 for Live at 4, I'm Josh Sprider, News 3 Now.
8:30 in the morning tailgating? Y'all are super fans.
Not anymore for me.
No. All right, thank you, Josh. Well, here's your reminder. We are partnering with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, Clinky Cleaners, and Magic 98 for the 39th annual Coats for Kids Drive. From now through Saturday, October 5th, you can drop off new or gently used winter coats at any area Clinky Cleaners. For more information on how to help, just go to this story on channel3000.com.
And coming up, did Tuesday's presidential debate give either of the candidates a huge bump? Charles Franklin with the Marquette Law School polls sits down with us to talk about what we can expect.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
No, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Psoriatic arthritis symptoms can be unpredictable.
One day, your joints hurt.
Next sits on your skin.
I got Cosentix. Feels good to move.
Feel less joint pain, swelling and tenderness, back pain, and clearer skin, and help stop further joint damage with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur.
I feel better.
Check out these moves. Just bust a move.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Get an 11% rebate on your next painting project at Menards. Pittsburgh Ultra Interior Paint and Primer in 1 provides a durable, washable finish. Grab a gallon of Ultra Interior Paint starting at $16.88 after rebate. Give your walls the best finish with Pittsburgh's Paramount Interior Paint. It provides the most advanced protection, true one-coat coverage, and excellent scrubbability. A gallon starts at $39.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Turn your old deck into dollars. You can trade in your old deck and earn cash back towards a brand new deck that is backed by our extensive lifetime warranty. All you have to do is visit tradeinmydeck.com, answer a few quick questions, and you'll see your estimated trade-in value instantly. Visit tradeinmydeck.com.
This is Good News Madison, brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
And the great thing about this venue is it fits for a lot of different genres and a lot of different types of music. It's a great opportunity to get your family out, maybe potentially to a first show. We can host up to 10,000 people for any of these concerts. So we're fortunate that last year we had 3 different sellouts. For a full event schedule and tickets and any additional information on anything happening here, you can just go to breezestevensfield.com.
And that is Good News, Madison, brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Well, there is a look at the White House where quite a few people are trying to get to in 50-some days until the election.
Yeah, I think there's a race or something like that.
Yeah, 81 degrees, partly cloudy in Washington, D.C. right now.
Yes, and we are waiting to see if Tuesday's debate will have a significant impact on the race to the White House.
Well, before that, the latest Marquette Law School poll looked at where the candidates stood post-conventions. Charles Franklin, the director of the Law School poll, is here, and he joins us now. So this latest poll was taken before the debate.
That's right. We went in the field on the Wednesday after the Democratic convention in the same way that the previous one was the Wednesday after the Republican convention. And we'll be in the field next Wednesday with the next poll post-debate. But this one is all pre-debate.
Were there any surprises from this one?
I think there's a little bit of an increase in Harris's lead. She was leading by 1 or 2 points in July. She's leading by 4 in this poll. So a little bit of an increment post-DNC. The other thing that really is striking is that enthusiasm is up and continues to go up, especially for Democrats. We had been 15 to 20 points lower in enthusiasm than in 2020. Now we're running even with 2020. And Democrats had been much less enthusiastic than Republicans. They mostly caught up in July, and now Democratic enthusiasm is higher than Republicans, though Republican enthusiasm also went up after the Republican convention.
Right.
Is there any sort of, do you find that any undecided voters in the presidential race?
Any at all. It's in the ballpark of 6% or so who initially say they're undecided between Harris and Trump. But when we ask them, well, if you had to choose, virtually nobody fails to choose. They just need a little bit of a nudge. I think what we see with undecideds is they're nonpartisan, they're independents, they're usually independents that are not real happy with either political party, and they're not totally absorbed with politics. And that's sort of the recipe for saying, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, at least when we initially ask. So, you know, in a state decided by 21,000 votes, 6% undecided is not insignificant. In 2016, late deciders broke overwhelmingly for Trump. In 2020, they broke for Biden. And they did that break in the last week of the campaign. So it's too early to have any good read on where they'll end up 53 days from now.
Well, now I'm going to ask you to get out your crystal ball here. I know that this poll came out before the debate, but and we haven't done the one post-debate, but do you think either Vice President Harris or former President Trump will get a bump from this debate?
Yeah, there's one good national poll that came out this afternoon by Reuters, and it shows a 2-point increase in Harris's support, so a little bit of a bump. But Harris had really done well between the time Biden dropped out and the Democratic convention. She had continually improved in the polling averages over that time. She's been kind of flat since the convention, and so a couple of points up is a little bit more movement than we've seen recently. But again, that's just one poll. It'll take us a week or so before we have a good collection of national polls, and then we'll be out in early October with the post-debate poll.
Right, even looking further down the line, how do you think this debate could impact the trajectory of the race?
Well, I think first of all, it cemented Harris's momentum. You know, 63% in one poll say she won the debate. The punditry is certainly saying that she had the better debate. But I think people got to see for themselves, if they tuned in and paid attention to the debate. At the very least, it didn't do anything to stall her momentum and arguably improved it. But our country, as you know, in our state, is deeply divided over politics and over the candidates. So that's the reason not to expect a really big change.
We have about a half a minute left, to the Senate race. Among registered voters, Baldwin leads Hovde 52-48. So does he have a chance these next couple of months to gain on her? And how does he do that?
Yeah, it's about a 4-point lead no matter what. She has ranged from a 4-point to a 7-point lead. So this is sort of at the low end of what we've seen over the past 3 polls. He is getting better known to the public, but he's seen a little more negatively than positively, whereas she is 1 point more favorable than unfavorable. There's still a race to run there, though, where people, the Senate race was swamped by presidential coverage over the summer. Now the Senate race has a chance to stand out a little bit this fall.
And we will see what else changes tomorrow, the day after that, the day after that. Thank you for being on with us.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for having me.
Well, now let's get a look at our weather. I'll cast my vote for this forecast, Alex.
Yeah, overall, it's a pretty nice forecast over the next 10 days. If you like warm weather, if you like dry weather, and you're probably thinking dry, Alex, are showing the remnants here of Francine moving to the north. Aren't we going to get some water across southern Wisconsin as Francine moves from the mid-Mississippi Valley up towards southern Wisconsin? We could use those drops. The latest drought monitor that we were showing earlier, a little bit more zoomed in, all of southern Wisconsin, less the far north up towards far northern Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties, who all are seeing dry conditions. All you got to do is step outside and see that grass. It's really starting to turn a little bit on the brown side across southern Wisconsin. Here come the clouds. I said we track the clouds and the showers and where Francine's going to go. A cloudy day on Friday. Maybe a shower. And I think right now with the consensus with our weather models, the best chances for water will be likely Madison and points off towards the west, towards the Mississippi River, where we see these on and off shower chances. The humidity will slowly creep up. It's a little bit of heavy rain briefly, but we're not expecting widespread heavy rain across southern Wisconsin. There's another pop-up shower here as we go towards Sunday at midnight, and then maybe a few more showers on Sunday as well, with those chances going down once we get past Monday. I think our weather models are a little bit optimistic with how much water will likely drop from the leftovers of Francine. I think a 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch across southern Wisconsin at most, maybe an isolated amount towards the Mississippi River that gets maybe upwards of a 1/2 inch, but not widespread precipitation. And not widespread precipitation for the 10-day forecast. I've even pushed the next chance of more appreciable rain further out into the following weekend. We'll be right back.
Tammy Baldwin's partner is Maria Brisbane, a Wall Street wealth advisor to the ultra-rich. They spend their time in New York and D.C. in their multi-million-dollar homes. But Baldwin fails to report their jointly owned assets, or Maria's clients, who get rich off industries that Tammy regulates. That's a conflict of interest, raising serious ethical questions. Two-faced Tammy Baldwin. She's not for us anymore. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Take an EKG from anywhere, but with 6 times the data. Can your smartwatch do that? Introducing Cardia Mobile 6L, the FDA-cleared EKG that provides 6 times more heart data than any smartwatch. And it detects 3 of the most common arrhythmias in just 30 seconds, including atrial fibrillation, bradycardia, and tachycardia. Cardia Mobile 6L, the world's most advanced personal EKG. Get yours today at cardia.com or Amazon.
Shop from the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. All with Bergstrom's negotiation-free upfront pricing, including our exclusive 7-day price protection and money-back guarantees. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromChevrolet.com.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
New at 5, new data shows a drop in teen e-cigarette use, but another nicotine product is quickly rising in popularity. What it is and what parents need to know from the CDC. That's straight ahead on News 3 Now.
It all comes down to the final drive. News 3 Now brings you the big play highlights and scores from Southern Wisconsin high school football action. Don't miss the final drive, Fridays on News 3 Now at 10.
Well, take a look at this. The first commercial spacewalk in history. Billionaire tech CEO Jared Isaacman became the first non-government astronaut to conduct a walk in space.
Popping the hatch of the SpaceX Polaris craft and taking a breathtaking stroll. That is one small step for man, but one giant leap for the insanely wealthy. But spoiler alert, it wasn't newly detected high levels of manganese that caused the city to issue a bottled water only.
I think we had an added from the other story, so that's just a little teaser of what could have been if we didn't run out of time.
We're focusing on this, space. On space.
All right, let's blast off to this commercial. We'll be right back.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
No, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
If your windows are leaky and drafty, it's possible they weren't installed properly. Many installers lack proper training, and shoddy installation leaves your home vulnerable to extreme weather. At Next Door & Window, we're reinventing window installation. Our approach ensures your windows are sealed tight and energy efficient. And your windows and doors will be installed by certified experts who treat your home as if it was their own. When you demand tomorrow's comfort, Next delivers. Visit nextwindow.com to learn more.
4 years ago, rioters set this Minneapolis police station on fire, trying to burn me and my fellow police officers alive. Governor Tim Walz left us for dead. And Kamala Harris?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone beware. They're not going to let up, and they should not.
She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding the police. Kamala sold cops out and put families at risk. Kamala Harris is too weak and too dangerous to be president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
China Lights is back this fall at Berner Botanical Gardens in Milwaukee. This spectacular event has been leaving visitors awestruck for its magnificent array of over 40 huge lanterns. China Lights Year of the Dragon is simply amazing. With animals, entertainment, food, and an interactive zone, this event is for the whole family. China Lights opens this Friday and runs through October 27th. Buy your tickets now. The experience is breathtaking.
This ad is a complete lie. The truth is, Tammy Baldwin's never shared inside information with her partner. And Tammy Baldwin's leading the fight to ban senators from purchasing any individual stocks. It's Eric Hovde, who owns a $3 billion California bank. And Hovde's bank takes millions from unknown foreign interests, meaning we'd have no idea who Eric Hovde would really be working for. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
And that's a wrap for today's Live at 4.